Hi, Ed Diaz from Roland Corporation here. I'm a senior product specialist for Roland, and I'm here today at Alamo Music, and today we're going to be focusing on the Roland Juno D. All right, let's get started. So here we have the Roland Juno D. Now in this example, I'm using a Juno D 61 note, so a 61 notes here, but we also have available 76 note and the 88 note, which has a PHA-4 action. I believe in one of the recent videos that Alamo Music did, they were using the 88 key note. Now, what are the differences between the 61, 76, and the 88? Other than the key sizes and the type of keys, the engine is exactly the same. So just think of it, it's the same car, but with different tires. That's all you got to think about that one, and it's very, very cool. Now, let's go ahead and start looking at this guy and what we have to offer. First off, the Juno D has our Zen Core sound engine, which gives you over 3,800 sounds, over the previous model that had about 1,200. So that's something that's very cool. Since it does have the Zen Core sound engine, we can import and export Zen Core tones to other Roland compatible instruments such as the Phantom EX, the Juno D, the Jupiter XM, the Jupiter X, and even our new V stage. So that's something that's very cool that you can do with this keyboard. So I'm going to begin. We're going to take a little bit of a listen of maybe some of the pianos in here, and we're going to go through it and learn a little bit more about the Juno D. So let's go ahead and listen to this grand piano. So a very good piano. Now here is a cool thing about the Juno D. If we look over here, we see it says single, split, and dual. Now what does this mean? Currently right now I am in a single. Now if I wanted to layer two sounds, which is very common when we're playing keyboards, all I would need to do is press the dual button. And if you notice on the screen, it automatically, I'm using my cursors, there's my piano, and it automatically put something underneath, maybe like slow pop. Now before I play, I want to show you over here, we have these sliders here that say upper, lower, phrase pad, and even a microphone. Yes, the Juno D, all models have a microphone jack in the back, and it is a combi jack, which means you can use a cable that has an XLR or a 1/4 inch, and it's designed for a dynamic microphone. If you have any questions, ask your Alamo Music sales representative, and they'll get you squared up on that. So I can adjust all of these right here. So I'm going to go ahead and let's play that same piano. Bring it up. There's my piano. Now let's bring up that string. Now if it turns out I didn't want that string, I can go ahead and spin the dial wheel this way, or I can go ahead and choose any other of the different sound categories, different tone categories in here. So maybe I want a choir in here. I can go ahead and look, or I can press the enter button and we can see them all open up to us. So this makes it really fun and very easy. Once I have what I want in here, I can exit and it's already loaded. And then I can use my slider here and make my necessary adjustments. Now, the Juno D is arranged in scene, and a scene can be a single tone, dual, split, or even multiple layers, up to 7 tones able to be layered all the time. The 8th tone is dedicated, the 8th part is dedicated for drums, and that's when we get into the sequencing. We'll check that out in a little bit. So let's go back to single, and I'm going to go back up to the scenes. So now it's in scenes, and notice when it's in scenes, it's white here, but when I go to the different tones, this turns blue. So it lets you kind of know where you are very quickly. Let's go ahead and check out another scene in here. Great thing about this, all of our scenes have some type of sequence built in with them. So if you're new to the Juno D and you're not sure what you're doing, there always is a musical example. So I can just press play, and I'll get some type of musical example that I could play with. Let's check out some of the electric piano right here, such as this one. Once again, if I wanted to add something else, just press dual, If that's not quite the sound I want, I could go ahead and press something else, search, and just bring it in very quickly. Very quick and easy to do. Now, what if I wanted to use maybe a bass sound? I wanted to come into here and say, you know what? I want to choose an organ, and maybe I have an organ here like this. And what if I wanted to have a bass? Very quick and easy. Press the split button, and notice it puts the piano in the upper and has a lower section in here. Well, it put a warm vibe, which might be okay, but that's not exactly what I'm looking for. I can press the bass section. I can go inside, and I have subcategories in here. I could go ahead and say, you know what? I want to go ahead and go to this finger bass with a little bit of noise. Very quickly, maybe adjust my octave. Notice I have octaves right here on the top panel. I can go down minus 3 octaves or plus 3 octaves. So very quickly, I can have that. Have it set there. And if I wanted to adjust that split level, I just press and hold split. I can adjust it. Very quick and easy. Now, we have other aspects of the Juno D. We already talked about the single, split, and dual, but we also have different arpeggiators, chords, and drums in here. Direct buttons. We have a transpose. So let's say in my example, I am playing and someone calls a song and I'm not sure. So watch this. If I'm playing C and someone calls a song in E and I'm not prepared, no problem. Press and hold the transpose and we can go plus and minus. So if I wanted to go from C to E, I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would hold it and go 1, 2, 3, 4 by half steps. So now, take it off. There's C. Here's where E would be. But we have transpose. We moved it there. This is something that's very handy to use if you're unprepared. So also, if we wanted to, we could do it the opposite way. Maybe instead of C, I wanted it to be B flat. So -1, -2. So now we have, let's take it off. Here's B flat. Turn it on. We just moved it up. So that's something else that's very handy with the Juno D. So my Juno D, I lovingly refer to this as my keyboard when I just get a call and I have to go and I don't want to take any of my big boards. This one's great. It's perfect because it's very light, gives me over 3,800 sounds to choose from. Now let's move over to this next section right here, the sound modify section. We've already spoken briefly about the upper, lower, phrase pad, and the mic, but what about right here? Let's say I'm using some type of synth or maybe some kind of bass like the MG Saw bass, which sounds like this. So in here, I can use my sound modify knobs to shape the sounds. I have cutoff, resonance, attack, and release. So I can just come into my cutoff, adjust that filter. I can have that section, do a little resonate, that filter. Maybe adjust the attack, a slower attack. Even the release, so when I let go of the key, how long does it take it to release? And that's all from that sound modify. I can go ahead and take that release and attack, make my adjustments. Very quickly. Now once again, even in this type of sound, I could go ahead and do a dual and maybe choose another bass, maybe, and adjust them. Here's the lower bass, and I can put them together. So a lot of flexibility in my sound creation. Now you see over here, this all in this middle section, this is where is my control center. You can see my screen, my color screen. I have my increment, decrement buttons, my cursors, my shift. If I want to get into different things, I can write my tones and even my scenes right here. And then you see I can choose my scenes when they're white here on these different categories. I can push enter, go inside, see the different scene categories. Or if I go down, I can actually now, it's blue, so now these let me go through to specific tones. If I wanted to see further, press enter, and now I can see my tone categories in here. So very cool, very easy to use, and I even have a favorites. I can go ahead and put my favorite tones, or my favorite scenes actually, right to here, and I adjust them. And I have 10 banks of 16, so I can change my different banks here, whatever I want, I can kind of do that. I'll put it back on bank 1, there we go, and there's my favorites for bank 1. So very easy to do. Now let's go ahead and make some beats with our sequencer. All right, so check this out. I'm gonna go to the front here, and remember I said that there's always something here. So on the studio piano, if I press play, there's something there. Let's do a quick sequence. So all I have to do now is I can go ahead and press sequence, I can press erase, and I'm gonna cursor down and initialize. Now, the thing about our sequencer, I'll go ahead and exit, is it's just a basic 64-step pattern sequencer, which is the equivalent to about 4 measures, just to get your song ideas. That's something that's cool in here. Now, if I want to, I can go ahead and say, you know what, I'm gonna start off with maybe some drums. I'll octave shift it just so I can have a little bit of room. And I can say, I want to record. I can choose my steps. I'm going to do 16 steps, which is about one measure. So I'll go ahead and do that. And we're good to go. I am pretty much ready. And all we got to do now is press play. Have it recorded. Let's go ahead and add maybe let's go ahead and add the snare. Let's add a hi-hat. So that quickly I created a little beat. Let's go further and go to maybe my part 2. And right now I have a string, but maybe I want to go ahead and do a bass. I'll go ahead and cursor up to track 2. I'll hit my basses right here. And here we go. Hit my bass. There we go. I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and use that saw bass that I used earlier. Great. Now it's selected. Let's go ahead and record. 1 measure, that's all I need. Great. Now the great thing about this, I don't even have to stop. I could just take off record. It's still playing. I could go ahead and say, you know what, let's go to another instrument, maybe track 3. And in this one, maybe I'll go ahead and say, I want to use an electric piano. When I'm ready to record, I'll go ahead and exit to choose it. It's recording. I'll come in on the 1. To auto record, maybe I'll go into part 1 here, and maybe I just want to play. Go ahead and pick a synth in here, maybe some kind of lead, and I can go ahead and find something right here. Very quickly. A lot of different leads, like I said, over 3,800 sounds. And we can just play. And that quickly we can go ahead and make just a fun little sequence. Once again, it's 64 steps, which is equal to about 4 measures, so we can have some fun. Now, what do I do with this? Well, here's something cool about the Juno D. The Juno D is USB audio class compliant, which means you can plug it into the computer and it'll show up as a little audio interface, 2 ins and 2 outs, or you can plug into your phone or iPad that has USB-C and you can use it to record into these devices. Or you can go ahead and go live on Instagram or your favorite social and play, and it's going to use the audio as the Juno D. So if there's noise around you, it's not going to hear it. It's just going to be clean. So that's something that's cool. It's USB audio compliant. Now here's something further. In the previous Junos, we had batteries, AA batteries, but we no longer have batteries in here. The USB-C computer port, you can go ahead and grab any kind of USB-C cable. I have one here. And check this out. Any USB-C compatible charger that'll charge a phone or an iPad, I'm using here a V-mount battery, which you see in a lot of cameras. I can plug into here, plug right in, and I can plug, and I'm going to go ahead and use a different example right there. I'll put this in here. I'm going to plug it into my port here. Now watch this. This will be pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to let this play. Great. And now live, I'll go ahead and unplug the DC power. So here is the power cord that was powering the Juno D, and I just took it out. Now I'll plug it back in. Perfect music for this example. It's plugged back in, and now I'll unplug that. So that's pretty cool. So we had seamless transition between battery power and AC power. This could be great if you're going to use this for high school marching bands and you want to have it in the pit and you don't want to have to take a power supply and deal with power. You can use some type of portable power such as a V-mount battery or something similar. That's cool. Once again, if we were going into the computer to record, we would just take a USB-C and record right into our computer with a USB-C cable from here. That also being said, if you want to use this with the computer, plug right into here. Not only will this be the USB audio class compliant, but the computer port will power the Juno D. You don't even need the DC power. So that's something that's very cool. So let me, a couple more things and I'll let you guys go. If you're watching this video, make sure you like and subscribe to Alamo Music. They're doing fine work here and letting you really check out the Juno D. We have a phone input on the back. We have balance 1/4 inch on the back as well for your outputs. We have an 1/8 inch external input, so you want to plug another audio device in here, you can. We have a combi jack mic for dynamic mics, and we can also use that for other instruments. Just plug them in here. That being said, we can go ahead and have your microphone in here, but even further, we have auto pitch, so you can change your voice, have fun, sing along, and change your gender, have a great time, and also a vocoder. And it's actually a usable vocoder, and so that's included in here as well. We have MIDI in and out. If you want to control other keyboards, you can do that. And then we have 2 pedal ports on the back here for control and also hold. So that is just a quick look at the Juno D from Roland. Once again, it's a Zencore powered synth, and it gives you over 3,800 sounds. Make sure you come check it out here at Alamo Music. So as you guys see, the Roland Juno D has a lot of things going for it. All the Zencore sounds, the 3,800 sounds, the USB audio compliance, a lot of cool things, even a vocoder in there. So if you have any further questions or want to check out the Juno D in person, you can go to alamomusic.com, or you can come into Alamo Music and check it out for yourself. If you have any other further questions, please feel free to reach out to Alamo Music or myself, Diaz at Roland.com. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you later.